Good afternoon. It's that time of the day where we take you around the country in 1 hour. It is nationwide. Welcome. My name is Sogoch Kuka Ona. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Kano State, Haruna Issa, says the Kano State government acknowledges the ruling by the Federal High Court regarding the Kano Emirates Council Repeal Law 2024 and views same as upholding the rule of law. It has unequivocally reaffirmed the validity of the law passed by Kano State House of Assembly and assented to by the Governor of Kano State on Thursday, 23rd May 2024. He further says the judgment is very fundamental to the entire matter, stating that the implication of the ruling is that all actions done by the government before the emergence of the interim order of the court are equally validated. This is to say that the abolishment of the 5 emirates created in 2019 is validated and the deposition of the 5 emirs is also sustained by the Federal High Courts. By implication, this means that Muhammadu Sanusi II remains the emir of Kano. The judge also granted the application for the stay of proceedings until the Courts of Appeal. This with the appeal before it on jurisdiction. Now, the Senate Committee on Police Affairs has resolved to mediate on the controversy between the Nigeria Police Force and the Police Service Commission in relation to the recent annual recruitment of 10,000 constables. In a statement, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Police Affairs, Senator Abdulhamid Maladori, said both sides have been invited for a meeting in order to find practicable means of resolving the issue. The committee advised the NPF and PSC to halt claims and counterclaims on media platforms in the interest of the nation. Now, the House of Representatives is working to improve on the university education in Nigeria for it to compete favorably with the best standard globally. During an oversight visit to the University of Abuja, the House of Representatives Committee on University Education interfaced with the academic staff and the management of the university, where they resolved to work together in the interest of the system.
The oversight visit to the university gives an opportunity for the committee to cross-check funds being appropriated and its utilization by the university authority.
We asked you to give us some documents, and we have studied the documents thoroughly. Our consultants are still looking into some of the documents, and we are ready to commence work.
Members also applauded the understanding reached between the Academic Staff Union of the University of Abuja and the management in resolving the recent feud that resulted in an industrial action last May.
You agree with me that the university is going through a lot of challenges. I deliberately chose this method of interaction because there are certain things that, if not properly handled, they can go out of the way and will create a lot of unnecessary tension. We are doing our best to see that academic activities are back in this university. We want to make sure we complement whatever government is giving us, and we want to make it as an institution. Even more than that, we are starting the Center for Social Innovation, in which we want to teach philanthropism. We want to train people, and I promise you that we will do our best to meet your expectation.
The committee is expected to oversight other universities across the country. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy has dropped anchor at the NAF Conference Center, marking World Hydrography Day with a splash. Defense correspondent Najaato Tijani reports that the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, who declared the event open, emphasized the critical role of the Nigerian Navy in hydrographic advancements, in addition to its mandate of securing the maritime domain and protecting critical oil and gas assets of the nation. The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala's keynote address was a treasure trove of insights, showcasing the Navy's efforts are charting new waters in hydrographic surveys and mapping. In a tidal shift expected to make waves in boosting Nigeria's blue economy, the Navy also launched NG 5502 approaches to Lagos hydrographic charts and the National Charting Scheme of Nigeria, indicating navigable zones and the country's tilt towards self-sufficiency in hydrographic strategies. The immediate past chairman of Obio Akpo local government area of Rivers State, George Ariolu, is calling on members of his political party, the APC, to continue to maintain peace, as he is optimistic that the political tussle in the state will end in their favor. Robinson Daritaide reports that the chairman addressed supporters at a venue close to the secretariat.
Tussle over the leadership of the local government area councils in Rivers State led to the Rivers State Police Command to mount surveillance at the council secretariats to forestall breakdown of law and order. Supporters of the immediate past chairman of Obiakpo Council, George Ariolu, were around the council to make some demands.
PDP!
The former chairman, while regretting a confrontation with the other faction, which almost claimed the life of his chief security officer, was positive about obtaining justice from the court of law.
We love our dear local government area. Yes, sir. We have spent so much money invested in rebuilding that local government secretariat that some miscreants went the other day to vandalize. They will answer to the law. We are not going to rest on our oars until they are brought to justice.
Yes, sir. He further urged his supporters to maintain peace.
The beauty of democracy, like I've always said, is based on the tenets of the rule of law. But all the same, we thank God that no life was lost. Yeah. Yes. We continue to remain law-abiding.
I have to tell them, as the women of Obiakpo, that they should respect the law. That they should hold on. Obiakpo, we are peaceful people. They should hold on. The matter is in the courts. If they win, they will take over. And if we win them, to God be the glory.
The erstwhile chairman, however, commended the Nigerian police for the steps taken so far. Robinson Darataide, NTA News.
Compressed natural gas CNG conversion workshop with a refueling station and a training center is now fully operational in Ilorin, Kwara State. This follows the inauguration last month by the Kwara State Governor, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya is standing by at the station to give us details about its operations. But before we join her, let's take this background report.
The compressed natural gas station, conversion workshop and training center, newly built in Ilorin, is in line with the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, an idea of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The initiative is geared towards reducing overdependence on vehicles using petrol. The CNG station was inaugurated by Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak on May 29 this year.
What we're doing here today marks a new phase in our public life. It shows how technology changes our lifestyle and how government policies can shape the socioeconomic trajectory of a nation.
100 billion naira was provided to the Federal Ministry of Finance about December of last year. And today, we have seen the evidence of this expenditure. Kwara State is first to receive this site. But I am confident that in no time, every state in Nigeria Federation will have at least one PCNGI site and multiple PCNGI partner sites to the benefit of all Nigerians.
Our state-of-the-art daughter station is equipped initially with one pump, which will soon expand to 3 pumps, each with dual dispensing units. The 2 additional pumps will be operational in just a few weeks' time. Governor Abdulrazak's commitment to sustainable development and economic progress has laid the foundation for this transformation project, and we are truly grateful for his partnership.
This idea is no doubt one of the numerous bold steps the federal government has taken to reduce the hardship accompanying fuel subsidy removal. The opportunity of having a workshop and at the same time a training center will definitely impact positively on residents of the state. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
All right, Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, let's have more updates on the operation of the CNG projects. Over to you.
Thank you, Ogochukwu. Yes, this place was inaugurated by Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak on May 29 this year. And I can tell you that currently it is the conversion process that is taking center stage. Right now, 14 Kwara State government vehicles have been converted, and we still have about 7 government vehicles that will be converted, after which concentration will be on individual vehicles. But I have with me here the training manager, Abubakar Siddiq, the training manager. Please, what can you tell us about the situation of this place, the awareness?
Yeah, actually, for the awareness, Rolling Energy, in collaboration with PCNGI, have ways like the online booking, the forms, and we've run some stakeholder meeting with the Union of Transportation, NUTRW, and other like the Tricycle Owner Association.
How many people have registered, individuals have registered their vehicles?
Yeah, we have like 150 individuals vehicle awaiting conversion, yeah, at the moment.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And I believe if other states can key into this particular thing, the over-dependence on fuel subsidy would be removed to the barest minimum, and I believe Nigeria would be better off for it.
Very well, because it has not recorded any challenge yet. We are moving to the promised land. Thank you very much, Aisha Abubakar. And from Ilorin, we now take our first commercial break in the news. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs has unveiled the modalities surrounding the mobile court initiative before stakeholders as part of awareness campaign prior to its official takeoff. The Minister, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, emphasizes that the essence is to ensure speedy dispensation of justice and prosecution of perpetrators of child abuse and other related offenses. Ngozi Technique reports.
In her engagement with Association of Hotel Owners, school proprietors, health practitioners, and other regulatory bodies, the minister presented plaques with different inscriptions, which she said would be visibly placed as strategic places to deter offenders.
The majority of the problems we have is mainly issue of lack of justice and consequences. It's almost 80% why a lot of people do as they wish. Inhumanity to human, we will resist it. And in that way, we start seeing decorum, and people will start knowing that if they do commit a crime, they will definitely go in for it.
She warned that no hospital should reject emergency patients without administering first aid treatment, as these will attract adjudication of the mobile court. Some stakeholders commented on some gray areas.
We want to say, for us to get the best out of people treating emergency, there's been a lacuna, and that lacuna is the fact that nobody is talking of who pays or who picks the bill.
When they know that the eyes of the management is no more there, they will sneak the underage girl inside. By that time now, mobile court will leave the person that committed offense and face the owner of the house.
In Abuja, as I speak to you, we have about, in fact, over 1,000 hotels undercover. A lot of them don't have signages, they don't have names, and they are operating.
The minister also explained the mode of operation and role of other key actors before the launch of the mobile court. Issues of XGBV and related offenses are expected to be checkmated when the mobile court becomes fully operational. Ngozi Technique, NTA News.
We now have the film reports of the report where we told you that the chief of the naval staff has dropped anchor at the NAV Center, Conference Center, Abuja, marking World Hydrography Day, and it was with a splash. Defense correspondent Najaato Tijani reports that the launch of the new charts of the event signals the crucial role of hydrography in turning the tide towards securing Nigeria's territorial waters.
A tidal wave of excitement as the Minister of Defense, the Chief of the Naval Staff and key players in the defense industry launch the NG5502 hydrography chart mapping approaches to Lagos. Its launch, along with the National Charting Scheme of Nigeria, indicates a heightened wave towards sufficiency across key sectors of Nigeria's economy.
Mark a significant milestone in Nigeria's journey towards maritime excellence. The agency now stands as a beacon of hope, are ready to transform Nigerian national economic purchase. Under the visionary leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
offering a treasure trove of insights into the Navy's hydrographic exploits, the Chief of the Naval Staff's keynote address illustrates the significance of accurate and reliable data for sustainable management of ocean resources, among other benefits.
The Africa Integrated Maritime Strategy recognized that the eradication of poverty in Africa depends on the ability of African nations to exploit the resources in the marine environment. For us to be able to do that, we must have adequate hydrographic data.
The Naval Chief's remarks underscore the critical need for accurate hydrographic data to inform decision-making, ensure the safety of navigation to enhance global shipping trade, and support the growth of the blue economy. The conference provides a platform for experts to share knowledge, best practices, and innovations in hydrography to address the complex challenges facing the world's oceans. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Over 1,500 pregnant women have been enrolled on a one-year health insurance premium program in Enugu State. Chika Ogu reports that the program, tagged Mama Care, is an initiative of the wife of the state governor under her pet project, Costos Care Foundation, aimed at boosting government's efforts at eradicating maternal and infant mortality.
According to reports by the United Nations Children Emergency Fund, UNICEF, Nigeria records about 576 maternal mortality per 100,000 live births, while approximately 262,000 babies die at birth every year. This has been attributed to the lack of access to comprehensive health care, financial constraints, ignorance, among other health issues. Worried by these statistics, especially in the rural areas, the wife of Enugu State Governor launched the Mama Care initiative to bridge the gap by paying for a one-year health insurance premium for 1,701 pregnant women drawn from the 17 local government areas of the state. The women will have access to comprehensive health care services, which include not only antenatal care, but safe and supervised conditions for delivery.
The Mama Care initiative is designed to provide essential services such as prenatal and postnatal care, nutritional support, health education, and access to medical resources. We aim to provide our mothers with the security and support they need to bring new life into the world safely and healthily.
Enugu State Commissioner for Health urged beneficiaries to take advantage of the opportunity and avail themselves of professional care at the health facilities in order to have safe delivery.
That is the bedrock of healthcare delivery. Since about 60% of the problems in the healthcare system will be solved if we have an effective and efficient primary healthcare system.
Mrs. Simba also announced the distribution of bags of rice in addition to financial support given to expectant mothers. Beneficiaries expressed their joy with songs of appreciation and praises. In Enugu, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA.
Chinenye Nwoye there. Thank you very much. Now, as Nigeria heightens surveillance to mitigate escalation of cholera outbreak, medical experts are calling for synergy amongst key players. They are emphatic that imbibing best practices like hand washing and clean environment is key in tackling cholera. Lydia Sampson reports.
Cholera is deadly and kills fast, Ironically, experts say it is very easy to treat. They reiterated that any case of diarrhea must be treated as a suspected case by seeking urgent medical attention.
When people are infected and they contaminate water sources and contaminate food sources with the bacterium, with the bacteria, then it gets into human beings. It gets into human beings and then it releases toxins. These toxins kind of open the tap of the body and then water comes out.
When we say it's the disease of the poor, it's related to their ability to have access to good housing conditions, their ability to have access to good water conditions because of where they are staying, and they themselves too, they are not able to afford the basic livelihood that can even boost their immunity.
Unfortunately, open defecation, which is closely linked with contamination of water, remains a challenge.
The NCDC need to be empowered with funding and so that they can buy a lot of supplies, and then people are getting more poverty on the land, a lot of trouble, no water supplies. People, even the sachet water that is very cheap, sachet water that you can buy and drink, it's an essential commodity now. Also, household cannot get sachet water. So it's we're really in a big mess that we need to look at this kind of outbreak of disease where it is preventable.
Sensitize the public. The basic thing is not the treatment. The basic thing is preventing it. What is this prevention? Very simple. Wash your hands regularly, especially after defecation. Boil your water if you don't have access to potable water.
The guests are unanimous that even where suspected cases turned negative, robust surveillance must be sustained to speedily pick up cases to mitigate preventable deaths. They say continuous education and engagement with communities through the One Health approach must be escalated. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
And now Asma is in Sokoto for the next set of reports, including the flag-off of the Gusau International Airport projects. Hello, it's over to you.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Towards decreasing and safeguarding vulnerability of children in Sokoto State, UNICEF, in collaboration with a Lever Foundation, have established community-based multipurpose child protection centers in Kwari and Dengeshuni local government areas. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that the two newly inaugurated centers are to provide a secured environment for the training of children who are at risk of abuse, exploitation, and violence.
A household survey by UNICEF indicates that a total of 249,523 children, comprising 113,208 Almajiris and 136,315 out-of-school adolescent girls, were verified and registered in Sokoto State. The community-based multipurpose child protection centers constructed by UNICEF and funded by a Lever Foundation are expected to provide support services such as mental health support, psychosocial services, vocational and entrepreneurship skills training. Inaugurating the centers at Kalalawa and Makere-Shuni, Governor Ahmed Ali commended UNICEF and the Lever Foundation for coming to the aid of the children and ensured that government is committed to the provision of quality education in Sokoto State.
It's a project that can be a collaboration with the community and then the UNICEF itself.
The establishment of the centers is a product of enhanced synergy between UNICEF and relevant government agencies to reduce vulnerability of children through various initiatives.
I quite believe we'll really be able to really address the issue of literacy, numeracy, and increasing enrollment in schools and addressing the situation of Almajiri children in Sokoto State.
Chief of Field Office UNICEF Sokoto, Michael Juma, calls on Sokoto State government to support the enrollment and retention of 2,500 Almajiris and out-of-school adolescent girls back to school by September 2024, and provision of land for agro-farming where the children can farm and ensure food security in the country. Sultan of Sokoto, represented by the district of Kwari, reaffirms support of traditional institutions to the program to advance the cause of children in Sokoto State. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Zamfara State government has awarded contract for the construction of the Gusau International Airport at the cost of 3 billion naira. The state governor, Dauda Lawal, supported by the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Festus Keyamo, flagged off the project located along Kauran Namuda Road. Haliru Muhammad reports that the project is billed to be completed within 30 months.
Zamfara has been the only state in the northwest region without an airport. The immediate past administration in the state had conceived the idea of having one, where it commenced implementation of the project that was later abandoned. The present administration of Governor Dauda Lawal appears to be committed to changing the narrative with the formal flag off for the full construction of the Gusau International Airport. Governor Dauda Lawal expressed readiness to build an airport with the state-of-the-art facilities that will deliver a high standard of services and safety for all users.
It's a significant step in expanding the frontiers of economic revival of Zamfara State. We are poised to establish our beloved state as a compelling investment destination that will attract investment locally as well as internationally.
The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Festus Keyamo, described the project as timely, considering the strategic position of Zamfara State in the northwestern region.
I stand with the people of Zamfara State to make this a reality.
The airport project involves construction of 3.4-kilometer primary runway suitable for large commercial aircraft, as well as installation of runway light and navigational aid, among other modern facilities for the comfort of passengers. The project, when fully executed, is expected to open the state to the world for more investment opportunities, social interactions, and tourism, among other numerous benefits. In Gusau, Halir Muhammad, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ogochukwuka in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
In the earlier part of the bulletin, we told you what the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Kano State, was saying about the emirship tussle in that state. And now we go over to our correspondent, Elizabeth Lamido, also in Kano, for an update on the emirship tussle. Hello, Elizabeth. What more can you tell us? What is trending at this time?
Yes, yesterday evening around 9:30, the Attorney General of Kano State gave a briefing to the press, and part of what he said was that it has acknowledged the ruling by the Federal High Court on the issue of the validity of the Kano Emirates repeal law. However, it also gave an order that the Emir's Palace, Nasarawa Palace, should be demolished. They are going to carry out renovations on that place. And they also gave an order to the police for the Emir to be removed from the palace. However, I'm standing in front of the palace in question, and as you can see behind me, there is nothing that is going on. Though at the government house there is an excavator and a bulldozer on ground, however, no action whatsoever had been carried out on either the removal of the area or the demolishment of the palace. And as you can see around me, there is the presence of not just the soldiers as well as, you can see behind me, they are standing on guard. They have been on this position since the beginning of this Emirate saga. And that is basically the position of things right now in Kano.
Thank you, Elizabeth. As events unfold, we expect updates. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has formally unveiled the schedules for the homebound flights for the Nigerian pilgrims, which will commence tomorrow, that is Saturday, 22nd June 2024. This was at the post-Arafat Stakeholders Conference held in Makkah, even as the Saudi Authority issues timelines for the 2025 Hajj season. Correspondent Jamilu Ibrahim has details.
2024 post-Arafat stakeholders meeting convened by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria in Mecca is primarily aimed at reviewing this year's Hajj operation in the Holy Land and the way forward. The various committees huddled with the different aspects of the operations, made presentations on how they have been able to deliver on the mandate given to them.
Despite all challenges, I must say it has performed wonderfully in some areas, but failed in some other areas.
The national media team was inaugurated on the 8th May this year. Since that time, about 1,382 news materials have been broadcast, published, and posted on all media platforms.
These were the significant events. Pregnancy, we had 2. Miscarriages at the Mashair 2. Conjunctivitis outbreak, we had 48. Diarrheal outbreaks, we had 218. And then mortality, we had 3.
This brings the total number of the Nigerian pilgrims who died in the Holy Land to 13. There were remarks and observations from some other officials and critical stakeholders at the conference. During the meeting, the NACON also unveils its schedules for the homebound flights, which begin on 22nd June with pilgrims from Kebbi and Nasarawa states, as well as the FCT Abuja.
So, and inshallah, throughout the operation, the homebound journey, we are going to maintain minimum of 3 flights per day.
The NACON Chairman Jalal Ahmad Arabi appreciates all the stakeholders for their concerted efforts towards the success of the 2024 Hajj operations. He, however, says with their support and cooperation, the NACON can do better in the 2025 Hajj season, which has already commenced, and the guidelines issued by the Saudi authority.
That let us take the lessons we learned in 2024, which nearly cost us dearly, to now program ourselves against 2025 with the aim of attaining remarkable success.
The highlight of the event was the recognition of the Nigerian pilgrim from Jigawa State, Balimawa, who found $800 and some other foreign currency in the Holy Land and handed them over to the officials for appropriate action. From the holy city of Mecca and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Nigerian women have been encouraged to play a positive role in the overall growth of the family and the society at large in the face of moral decadence and the need to develop themselves for self-sustainability. Chairperson What We Can, Grace Iyabi, stated this during the 3rd convention of What We Can in Bayelsa State. Tibinepri Ohia was there and now reports.
St. Matthew's Catholic Church was the venue of the Bayelsa State 3rd Convention of the Women Wing of Christian Association of Nigeria, What We Can, with the theme Far Above Rubies. Chairperson What We Can, Grace Iyabi, says what necessitated the theme was as a result of moral decadence the society is facing and the need to encourage women to stick to their fundamental role of resetting the society to be a better place, as well as reshaping and developing women for self-sustainability.
What we intend to achieve, we intend to see that our women has been refined. We want to see a new set of women in our generation. If that is the only impact, if that is the only thing that I can do as a chairperson of What We Can, to see that I affect, that I make impact in the life of our women.
To put what they are going to learn here into practice. Very many of them, no doubt, are good women. This is only to help them to grow. For the Christian life is a life of growth.
God expects a lot from us, and the God that expects us to behave in the way He wants us to be, He has already equipped us. He has empowered us. He has wired us the way He wants us to live. And so that's why He described that who can find a virtuous woman? She is far above rubies. service.
Administration and other activities spice up the third state convention. Earlier, there was a street campaign led by its chairperson, Grace Iyabi, against indecent dressing and other social vices in the state. In Yenagua, Timinipri, or here, NTA News.
Governor Obaseki of Edo State visits illegal mining sites. For details of this and another report, let's now join Uduak Obong Achibong in Benin. Hello, Uduak. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ogwa Chikuka, and welcome to Benin. Edo State government is threatened to deal with illegal miners whose activities have become a source of concern to citizens of the state. Governor Godwin Obaseki was speaking when he paid an unshadowed visit to some illegal mining site at Obageno Wosa community in Ikobaka local government area. Goodluck Naini has the details.
The activities of illegal miners in Edo State have been on for some time now, despite warnings by the state government considering the environmental hazard. Investigation, however, revealed that some of the nation's critical infrastructure, including power lines, are badly affected in Ohori community, in Obaoka local government area along Agbo Road, and Umelu community in Uhonde local government area. These illegal miners at Obage were carrying out excavation work when the governor and his entourage came visiting. The governor, who is horrified by the extent of damage, wondered why the act should continue despite a series of warnings describing it as serious environmental threat.
This is environmentally threatening. The National Transmission Company issued a warning that even our transmission lines are being threatened because people are borrowing and taking sand around areas that are hosting this national infrastructure. You can see what is going on here. This is illegal, it's illicit, and we as a government are going to do everything possible to put an end to this.
The governor further warned those still nursing the idea to have a rethink, just as those found on the site were being interrogated by the police. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has advised parents and traditional rulers in communities across the state not to allow gains recorded by his administration in the education sector be eroded. He made the remark during the inauguration of a 1,000-member Parents' Council.
The governor in a keynote address says sustaining the effort can only be possible when citizens insist that things should be done properly. For the governor, innovations in the state's education sector is made possible through a reform process with focus on ensuring that teachers are supported and encouraged to teach students properly.
This gathering will also serve as a fine umbrella for bringing together parents, guardians, educators, policymakers, leaders, and stakeholders to discuss and address the various challenges and opportunities related to parenting and the development of our children.
In a lecture titled Parents, School and Education, the Archbishop Emeritus of the Catholic Diocese of Abuja, His Eminence Cardinal John Onayekon, is pleased with the state government for creating a new era of excellence in education.
Our Lord God gives his gifts of talents to children as he wills, not only to the children of the rich. To neglect the children of the poor is to waste the gift of talents that God may have given to them.
Primary 3 pupils of Obaseki Primary School, Melody Osai, and a member of the Parent Council, Professor Agaraseo Sifu, thanked Edo State government for the reforms in the education sector and its contributions in the improvement of teaching, learning, and reading ability of Edo children. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's still nationwide. Please stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Uduak. Now, the Ministry of Labour says it is dedicated to provide necessary assets and infrastructure to support the training of Nigerian youths. Minister of State for Labour, Nkiru Onyejocha, made this known at the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment and the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Technical Vocation and Entrepreneurship Skills. The minister states that the partnership will yield a remarkable result and set a new benchmark for public sector collaboration.
Of 2.5 million jobs annually, focusing on vocational, technical, and entrepreneurial skills that are critical for the economic development and growth of Nigerian youths and women.
Part in which my office will be playing more is more on the mapping, where we will go to different states to find out what skills are necessary in the state, so we match supply against demand to make sure that what we'll be training them in the states are the skills they actually need and that are profitable. We'll also be working a lot with certification, which is making sure we put together a curriculum together to certify and making sure that the curriculum fits with the same curriculum as MBTE.
The collaboration between the Federal Ministry of Labour and Office of Senior Special Assistants to the President is expected to create a sustainable opportunity for all Nigerians, particularly the youths. We'll now go over to Makurdi. Susan is our guide. Susan Omale is there. Over to you, Susan.
Thank you very much for joining us in Makurdi. As the rainy season intensifies across the country, residents of Makurdi have appealed to relevant authorities in the state to consolidate on the gains recorded so far by the administration in tackling infrastructural decay and perennial flooding, which have become recurring decimals in the state. They made the appeal when some officials of the State Ministry of Water Resources and Environment made an on-the-spot assessment of areas ravaged by flash floods in the metropolis. Moses Ajao Ode has details.
Makurdi, the Benue State capital, has over the years had its fair share of flood disaster, resulting in loss of life and property. Since the assumption of office of the incumbent government at the state level, various efforts have been put in place to checkmate flood-related disaster. Despite this visible effort, flash flood has continued to rear its ugly head.
The flood has taken over the road. There is no how you pass here with a car. It is devastating when it rains. Nobody goes out. The volume was more that the whole road was submerged.
So anytime it rains, we don't know what will happen the next. We don't have quite sleepless night.
Disturbing reports of flooding at the Giado Villa area, along Boko Road, New Kansho Layout, Media Village, and other parts of Achusa, said the Commissioner for Water Resources and Environment and his team on cars to evaluate the situation.
Most of these reviews that were done, we have to go back to the initial plans that we had here to solve some of these problems.
From what I've seen so far, most of those things that is happening is as a result of human negligence on their own part, because you cannot imagine someone building on the waterway, which is completely wrong, because the so-called people that own this property are people that maybe got approval, or I don't think they have approval, but want to interact with land to see if they have documents, and if they have documents, to sign those documents, and if they don't have documents, those buildings need to go.
He advised residents living around flood-prone areas to relocate to higher grounds to avert flood disaster. In Makurdi, Moses Ajao Ode, NTA.
Addressing challenges of boundary disputes and communal conflict requires a joint peace committee with a holistic approach and collaboration across the local government areas in Benue State. Deputy Governor Sam Ode gave the charge during an emergency meeting with key players from local government areas affected by boundary disputes at Government House, Makurdi. Simbiat Agbaji reports.
Caretaker chairmen, traditional rulers, and stakeholders from Gwe, Guma, Makurdi, Otukpo, Ohimini, Kwande, Konshisha, Oju, and Vandikia local government areas who were at the government house in Makurdi had one thing in common: the desire to ensure internally displaced persons return to their ancestral homes, and they unanimously agree that this can be achieved if peace returns to their borders.
All these boundary corridors that we have some issues. The only permanent solution to it is demarcation.
Boundary Commissioner Surveyor Solomon Adaga, briefing the committee on the progress made so far, also raised challenges faced by the commission. Deputy Governor Sam Ode, who is also chairman of the State Boundary Committee, said trans-border cooperation is being adopted at the continental level in the management of international boundaries. He therefore charged the committee to ensure trans-border cooperation and nip in the bud any issue capable of escalating and leading to breakdown of law and order.
Boundary lines are meant for administrative convenience and are not by any means supposed to be walls of separation or barriers between neighboring communities. God has a reason for bringing us together as neighbors, and as such, we should learn to cooperate and leverage on each other's strength.
The Deputy Governor stressed the fact that boundary demarcation must be respected. He renewed the pledge of the present administration to return IDPs to their ancestral homes. In Makurdi, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
And that does it from Makurdi. It's back to Ugochukwuka in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. And now, sports updates.
The Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, is tasking Nigeria's contingent to the African Athletics Championship in Douala, Cameroon, to clinch the first position at the Games. He joined other sports-loving Nigerians to charge the team to go for gold after the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, announced names of athletes for the championship. Toby Amushon, Favour Ofili, Chidi Okezi among top athletes on the list of Team Nigeria. In football-loving Nigerians will again enjoy the freeze and thrills that often characterize semi-final matches of the President Federation Cup on Sunday. Informed Rivers Angels of Port Harcourt will confront Delta Queens in Oka, while exciting newcomers Remo Stars ladies will lock arms with Abuja Land ladies, Niger Rattles, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu. Both matches will kick off at 4 p.m. And from African Football Ruling Body CAF, deliberations are on by executive members on how to give member nations soft landing as regards congested fixtures occasioned by the Women's Football event at the Paris 2024 Olympics, an enlarged FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Morocco is hosting the African Cup of Nations 2025 and Women's African Cup of Nations 2024. From Euro 2024 competition, Friday fixtures show that Poland will trade tackles with Austria, while Netherlands and France will lock arms, as reports indicate that Kylian Mbappe will be maxed after he sustained a nose injury. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide today. Many thanks for watching, and do have a blessed evening.